I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey, there's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw, there's no one that can match me.
Boxing beats and rhymes.
The best boxing channel on YouTube.
All the way, mate, all the way.
Arguably, Tyson Fury got hit less on the front foot in a rematch than he did in the back foot in the first fight. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? You see, it's not the technique, it's not the strategy, it's how the technique and how the strategy are applied. You are not necessarily safer boxing on the back foot than you are close up. It's all about the strategy and the confidence to pull off the strategy. Wilder, to me, was a little intimidated when he saw Fury from the opening bell took the fight to him, was going to carry out exactly what he said. I'm going to knock you out. Wilder is not as confident as he's always made out. This is a newfound thing with the newfound fan base and stuff, you know. And he tried not to engage Tyson Fury with the smack talk during the build-up, and he managed to keep his anxiety down for most of the build-up. By fight night, the anxiety was right up there. I saw the way he was working his jaw. You know when fighters do that thing when they work their jaw? And I've seen a few losing fighters do that. Orly Harrison's done it and a few other guys that working the jaw. And I think I'm not going to say he's a fraud because he's a grown man, but I think he has used the I'm black angle as a little bit of a shtick. I won't say he's been hustling people with it. And the whole black history thing, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, and MLK, that he displayed on the graphics on his ring walk. And then losing, you know, is supposed to be a demonstration of black strength, and then he didn't carry it off, did he? And then you had Fury, he had a Nigerian gum shield, the Nigerian colours. I guess that for AJ, hinting at something, I don't know, maybe trying to get in AJ's head. AJ is coming from a bit more of a realistic standpoint than Wilder. It won't be so easy for Fury to get in AJ's head. He will get in there, but he'll have to cope with it. You know, he'll have to cope with it. It's as simple as that. From the first fight, Wilder's tried to bring race into the thing, and Fury didn't say nothing in the first fight, in the build-up for the first fight. But, you know, Wilder went into to this day with Radio Raheem, and you don't know what it's like being black in America. And in this build-up here, he said, I'm going to make Tyson Fury a Black History meme. He said it a few times. And then Fury decided to reply, look, this hasn't got nothing to color. I don't accept that. This is between two boxers trying to win the belt, and That's what it is. And when Jason Whitlock told Tyson Fury about racial overtones in the first fight, Fury said, no, what are you talking about? And Whitlock said, if a white fighter is fighting a black fighter, traditionally there are racial overtones. Fury said, look, we're both humans. We're just humans. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't buying it. He didn't buy into it. And he done the right thing diffusing that like that. And then, you know, obviously Wilder has questioned AJ's blackness, called Eddie a slave master, he's racist, and Joshua's fan base is racist. Wilder's fans wanted to start calling certain black Brits coons and whatnot. And this has been going on for a long time. And on the fight where he decides to use Black History Month as his ring introduction, he gets the beating of his life by a white boxer. I don't know what Wilder's objective was when he was trying to press the issue that I'm black and you're white to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is from the travelling community in Britain. They are the underdogs. Tyson Fury's cleaned up his act in terms of his relationship with the media, but he's not exactly PC establishment. I mean, he's went after gays, rich banking families, been called a misogynist, got gagged on Twitter, and said a lot of stuff in defense of his heritage way before Wilder was saying anything. He was telling us about how the traveling community are persecuted in Britain. So he was going after the wrong Caucasian in that respect there. When Deontay Wilder was in the office with Trump, he said nothing. Yes, Jack Johnson was getting pardoned and you didn't want to mess that up, but he could have questioned him on a few things. If you're so all about your people as a black man and you're in front of Trump, you'd have a few questions. Nothing at all. He was bowing and curtsying to Trump and saved all his rage for Radio Raheem. Raheem's not president. He doesn't make policy. In fact, his name Radio Raheem has been taken from a black character in Spike Lee's film Do the Right Thing, and it's one of the most radical characters in the history of black film, ironically. The occasion got to Fury as well. It's how you deal with the nerves. Like, I don't understand why the fan base, they, oh, you look at you, you're nervous. Yeah, well, you're fighting. It's a stress-induced sport. You're fighting. You're going to get stressed. It's how you got to cope with the stress levels. It is what it is. It's not a weakness. It's how you cope with it. And let's face it, in the 2 fights with Fury, Wilder's crumbled. While Otto Wallin made a name for himself, he rose to the occasion. And he hasn't got the talent or the size of a Deontay Wilder. But he was a no-hoper going into that Fury fight, who gave Fury life and death. Aside from the knockdowns in the first fight, I don't think Wilder gave Fury life and death. I don't think he did. He got outboxed. So maybe all the time you're saying Anthony Joshua is weak, your man Wilder is the one who is a little mentally weak in 2 fights with Fury to get his signature win. He hasn't managed to get over the threshold, has he? This was Wilder's showcase. Apparently the gate sold out. I think the pay-per-view's done well. This is everything he claimed he wanted. This is the biggest fight of his career. But after 2 fights with Fury, we're questioning now, is it just a style matchup with Fury? Or can he cope with the big occasion? Is he mentally strong enough to deal with the big occasion? Fury's gave him every advantage. Fury said, I want the rematch in Britain. Wilder, no, we're fighting in America. Fury goes back to America and knocks him out this time. The referee, Kenny Bayless, was definitely favouring Wilder, protecting him like in the clinches, 100%. And I don't normally click into Deontay Wilder videos. It's a weird thing. I don't normally click into them. But there was a Fight Hype video, and he's there talking, just having a monologue by himself, and he's talking about the haters who were booing him at the press conference. And he's talking about, well, let them haters go bet on nervous Fury. He's saying all that. I mean, he spent 10 minutes talking about the haters just before a big fight. Why do you care? You're getting paid a whole load of money. This is the big stage you always wanted. You've accepted the role as the villain. You claim you're dying to catch a body. And these same haters, they're going to pay you if they're booing you in the arena, right? Muhammad Ali and Jack Johnson used to thrive on the hatred they got. I want acceptance. Why don't you love me? You're that sensitive because Fury's got a couple of people booing you in the crowd. And a couple of people in the comment section, they pointed out, are you making a video about the haters just before a big fight like this? You're spending time on this? Is he mentally weak? I think the boos affected him this time around, yeah. And I think the press conferences last time in 2018 where Fury was getting more support, I think it's affected him. I think he's a bit mentally weak there. You know, his fans and himself were mad at Floyd because he weren't passing on the torch. Well, maybe Floyd don't think you're the right man for the changing of the guard. The same guy who said, I could knock out an icon in Mike Tyson, former undisputed champion, and you've got one strap at 34, nearly 35 years of age. When Mike was 21, he was holding 3 straps on his body. You know what I mean? Walking down the street with 3 straps, Mike Tyson. And you said you could knock that guy out. And then you turned around and said, why Mike ain't come out and say what he said to me in private so everyone can hear? Why is he going to co-sign you after you was disrespecting him? Why is he going to co-sign you? Nah, Mike was celebrating when Fury knocked him out. See, Mike's celebrating, yeah. So all that's affecting him. But if he was real, it wouldn't affect him. Joe Louis used to call Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay when he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. Yo, Clay. Marciano used to do it. Patterson. Did he let it affect him? Ali said he was backing Pacquiao over Mayweather when they were going to fight. And the family quickly retracted the comment. Quickly retracted it. Didn't stop Floyd from beating up Manny in the ring. Well, outboxing, didn't beat him up. Outboxing Manny in the ring. I've heard Hagler, my favorite fighter, Holmes, throw scathing criticisms. A lot of old fighters throw scathing criticisms at Floyd. Floyd, man, I'm the GOAT. He ain't the GOAT, but he's that dude. The greatest modern day fighter. Yeah, fighter of the decade. I don't care when he retired. I expect Wilder to come back and knock out a whole load of opponents, some decent opponents as well, you know. But this is the second time he's tried to get a signature victory over a big name. Let's not talk no Luis Ortiz. That doesn't count as far as I'm concerned. Maybe to you it does. But Fury was the name that they headhunted. And he's failed twice. He's failed twice. And, you know, just going by Wilder's fans' interpretation of AJ quitting, well, Wilder was getting hit by punch after punch unanswered. To me, he didn't want to fight back. Did he quit? By your standards? I mean, AJ didn't tell the referee, I don't want to continue. He didn't tell him that. The referee stopped it. But you said he quit. Did Wilder quit? Looked like he was waiting for divine intervention as Fury was pounding him on the ropes. Matchmaking gone wrong. What would make anyone think you could beat somebody who basically came off the couch with all the issues they had just previously? What makes you think you could beat that person when they're in better condition, physically and mentally? It was them two knockdowns. They got gassed on them two knockdowns. It's kind of like Chavez Jr. versus Sergio Martinez. Like, he was so gassed that he managed to knock Sergio down in the 11th, you know. But you lost every minute of the fight apart from that. And when they was arranging a rematch, it wasn't going to go any differently unless you knocked Sergio out cold. I'm wondering if he's going to end up like Adrian Broner after that L. L's are just going to keep coming against fighters he's not supposed to beat and maybe against fighters who he is supposed to beat. A lot of them knockout victories have basically patched up a way bigger problem. They've just been temporary fixes because in a fight of such magnitude, never has one looked so out of his depth. You can talk about AJ Ruiz, the first fight. At least AJ scored a knockdown and was winning the early rounds, and Ruiz turned it around with one punch. This was an onslaught from the first bell. I don't think Fury's the heaviest champion ever. I think Valuev is probably heavier, was probably heavier. But no one has made that mass and bulk work like Fury worked it. The way he was throwing Wilder around the place, man, he threw him down on the canvas, man. Wilder had the nerve to tell the world just the other day the reason he hasn't unified is because none of the champions would give him a shot. So he's talking about Vladimir Klitschko, AJ, you know, Vladimir Klitschko, who Shelly Finkel said, I'm not going to rush Wilder into a unification with Vlad because he's still a baby. And he turned down 120 million just last year to sign up with DAZN, the network AJ fights on. And that fight would have been part of the deal. They're liars. You are not going to improve your fighter by damage control. Boxing is sink or swim. If you've had that strap since 2015 and haven't tried to unify, it's unlikely you're going to improve. It really is. And it's not just Wilder, you see. You can go from Caleb Plant this year to Adrian Broner to Charlo and all the hooping and hollering why they're not going to take a fight when offers have been made. And it's a reoccurring theme in the PBC. I took a poll on YouTube. Who would rather see a third fight between Wilder and Fury or undisputed unification between AJ and Fury? 98% want to see AJ and Fury and 2% want to see a third fight between Wilder and Fury. I mean, if you're in that 2% who voted for Wilder and Fury free, you're a... It's not even close. I mean, the other poll I took, who would win out of Filip Hrgovic and Martin Bakole, is 60-40 in Hrgovic's favour. 98%. It would be selfish to the rest of the boxing world to do that. It really would. Nobody wants to see a rematch after such a one-sided fight. Nobody. Nobody's wondering if Wilder can turn it around next time around. Who's wondering that? Except his dad and his mum and his wife. Or his children. Like late last year, Wilder was saying Fury should let me fight the winner out of AJ and Ruiz for undisputed. Well, tables have turned. Wilder should let Fury fight the winner out of Pulev and AJ for all 4 scraps. But Wilder has that mentality where he's selfish enough to go and take that third fight with Fury, even though he's going to get pummeled within an inch of his life. He'd probably rather do that than see AJ get a shot to fight for all 4 belts, something he was never prepared to do. And Al Heyman would probably be saying, yeah, let's take the 3rd fight too, rather than let ESPN and DAZN and Matchroom and Queensbury have the undisputed fight. That would be maybe the biggest fight in the history of boxing. And let me just say, that guy Deez is a piece of crap. And that camp, there's going to be some scapegoats in that camp. More than likely Breland. How are you not backing Breland when you're not in the ring taking the beating that Wilder took for 7 rounds? How have you not got Breland's back? This is for Deez or any trainer with a similar mentality. This is how it's supposed to work. The fighter is supposed to be the one who's too brave for his own good. And those who are in his corner are supposed to be the calmer, wiser heads who can see the boxer's demise when they can't see it. And they're supposed to save him from being maimed or perhaps killed in the ring potentially. Now, look, everyone has a different threshold for what they think is acceptable in terms of punishment taken. That's fair enough. What I'm saying is you should have Breland's back in public. But instead you're leaving him out there like he was wrong. The fact that you thought Wilder should have took more of a beating means you're a piece of shit. Right there. Breland shouldn't be the one getting his marching papers. It should be Deez. But does Wilder see the reality? I don't know. Look, I spoke to Wilder about Breland when I interviewed him early 2013. Olympic gold medalist with a crazy knockout percentage as an amateur. 2-time world welterweight champion, Mark Breland. Yeah? He's been in the ring. He knows the signals. Has Deez ever been a pro fighter at the level that Wilder and Breland have? Breland's got your back. But I'd question Deez if I was you, Wilder. Recently, it's almost like boxing has revived the spirit of Manny Stewart and everybody I talk about. Sugar Hill, baby. Sugar Hill. Funnily enough, though, Mark Breland, in his last couple of fights, was trained by Emmanuel Stewart. He's trying to turn his career around. I remember that. He got stopped by the guy who beat up Lloyd Hunnigan, and then Hunnigan took the belts back from him. Vaca. His career was over. Who's the weakest link, though? Why Wilder's technique is so lacking? Is it both Deez and Breland, or is it Deez? A massive blow for the PBC. And yes, Wilder, you join the Vivian Harris, Alex Garcia list of fighters who turned down huge purses and then got turned over. You turned down 120 million on an opportunity to fight for undisputed and got knocked out by someone who had a tenuous claim on the lineal title, which I'm not going to go through because I don't want to keep bringing up his past misdemeanors. He's not a lineal champion, basically. Leverage tactics suck. In all truth, Tyson Fury wasn't playing leverage tactics. You know why he wasn't playing leverage tactics? Because when he came back in the game, he had nothing. He was hustling. Wilder and Al Heyman and Shelley Finkel played leverage tactics, and you fucked up big time. Yeah? There was more money and there was more belts for Wilder fighting AJ. No matter what percentage he got playing the B side to AJ. Yeah? And now he's ended up with no belt. No belt at all. Missed out on the Arab money. And right now, Al Heyman is looking like a shitty advisor without Mayweather making him look good. Getting Arab money. Wilder only won one single round on one of the judges' scorecards. The other two didn't give him a round. 59-52 on 2 scorecards, 58-53. CompuBox unofficial stats. Fury landed 48 more punches overall. 82 punches landed out of 267 thrown for Fury. 34 punches landed out of 141 thrown by Wilder. 58 power punches landed out of 160 thrown for Fury. 18 power punches landed out of 55 thrown by Wilder. Fury landed 24 jabs out of 107 thrown. Wilder landed 16 jabs out of 86 thrown. Total domination. In my opinion, it's about character. Wilder faced somebody who had some character, and he buckled. He buckled. Didn't believe in himself. Not that confident guy he tries to portray he is. He really isn't. That's why Dillian had a great shot at beating Wilder. Because he believed it. Wilder thinks he's a bad boy. You can't fool me with that. I just want my title shot. Wilder didn't like that. You see, the young heavyweights who stand up to Wilder mentally, as much as physically, have a great shot at beating him. A lot of us have always known that though. 30 days to exercise the rematch clause. And you only get 40% of the split. Wilder, what does he do? Anything can happen. You was outboxed the first time, and in the second fight, you was outfought. What's he going to do? Come in at 17 stone and make himself even slower? Drop some more weight and go back down to 15-1? Near enough cruiserweight and get thrown out the ring this time like Tyson'S doing WWE all over again? I don't know. And his confidence right now to face Fury again, go through all that, build up with Fury, the mental games, and then have to face him in the ring, I don't think it's conducive if he's to have any semblance of a career from here on. I wouldn't expect Wilder to say it out loud because neither would I. But I'm sure I can hear his subconscious saying, I don't want nothing to do with that guy no more. I don't need that in my life right now. The truth is, a fighter who has been protected more than perhaps any modern day fighter I can think of got exposed in the ring in 2018. And from being exposed in 2018, the same opponent who exposed him laid out all of his limitations for the world to see in the rematch. And all his fake confidence and all this damage control you've been doing couldn't save him. Tyson Fury, in my opinion, doesn't want the third Wilder fight. But I like the way he's playing it. He's doing it in a classy way. He's not coming, I don't want the fight. What's the point? No. He's going to make Wilder exercise his right not to take it, or if he thinks he has some entitlement, well, take the shot and take another beating. And we'll see what Deontay Wilder does. Why would you go to so much trouble to get a Nigerian gum shield? He wants the AJ fight. Nobody is asking for a third fight after you've dominated a fight in that fashion there. There's just no point. No point at all. AJ has to take a back seat at the moment to Tyson Fury after that performance. It has to be said, You got to give Tyson Fury his props. People asking who's the best heavyweight in the world. No point asking. Until someone wins the undisputed fight, we can't settle it outright. I don't want to be going back and forth with people. I just want it clinically settled in the ring. Someone has all 4 belts. They're the top guy. And that's it. I don't want to go through resume. He fought him and this, that, and no. You got all 4 straps. You're the top guy. That's what the real boxing fans want to see. When asked, what would Frank Warren prefer, a third fight with Wilder or an undisputed fight, he said he wants to unify. That's what he wants to do. But Frank's now talking about Tyson Fury getting 60% and 70% and shit. So I don't know where we go from there. The split is still going to be a stumbling block, people. I'm letting you know that from now. And if the fight takes place in America and the pay-per-view numbers are good and the live gate is good, does Fury have a case that he gets more of the split? He'll try and make the case. And Eddie Hearn and Joshua are going to say no. I think 50-50 is fair, personally. I think 50-50 is fair. Fury has become a star in America. He's cracked America, where Joshua hasn't cracked it. He lost in his debut fight over there. We've got to be honest. Wilder must be feeling really shitty now because Fury's just taken over his territory. He's not from America. He came over there like, I'm more at home here than you are, Wilder. Wow, it's nearly 7 years since Wilder called out Fury in Sheffield after he knocked out Audie Harrison. It's nearly 7 years. It's over 4 years since Tyson Fury confronted him in the ring after the Spilker fight at the Barclays Center. It's around 1 year and 2 months, nearly 1 year and 3 months since the controversial draw in 2018. And in 2020, February 2020, Tyson Fury is trending as the biggest thing in America right now. I have to give the man props. I have to give him his due. I'm realizing now is that even before he knocked out Wilder this weekend, he wants to fight in America because he knows in England, financially, negotiating with AJ is a different proposition. You don't really negotiate with AJ in the United Kingdom. He's the landlord. I don't even think a cocky bastard like Eddie Hearn would try to A-side Tyson Fury in America right now. So America is a better place as a starting point to negotiate for Tyson Fury if we're talking about the undisputed all-British showdown. Undisputed all-British showdown. Sounds really good. All 4 belts are in the UK. It's big. It's big. It's big, people. And there's not a territory worth talking about that doesn't want it. America, Arabs, England. I'm sure there's a few other countries who take it too right now. It's a massive fight. Massive fight. Unified champion, WBC champion. Soon we've got 2 of our contenders, Danny Dubois and Joe Joyce, going at it. Commonwealth, European, British title. Wow. Got Dillian Whyte, number 1 contender, taking on Povetkin. Eddie, right now, he's going to have a little bit of an awkward relationship with Dillian. When Eddie started plugging for the undisputed fight after Fury won, Dillian was on Twitter saying, well, how are you going to plug that? How are you not going to plug for Fury to give me my shot? And you're my promoter. Uh-oh. I want to see Derek Chisora against Usyk, see if he can spring a surprise. I know he's the underdog. I'm not saying he's going to beat him. I didn't say that, but I think it's a great style matchup, and I just want to see how far Derek can push it. So a lot happening in the United Kingdom, and the heavyweight division is the starting point. What we need in the UK is some billionaire backers to come out and say, okay, we're going to host these events. Because for the first time as a boxing fan, I'm seeing the UK supply the manpower and they're having to ship it out abroad because there's a demand for it. And the British fans who've been paying their pay-per-views almost religiously, showing up at the events at the gate with such loyalty, they're not getting a taste of what they built. They really ain't happy. I'm glad to see our boxers in that position. Yeah, it would be great to have the fights over here. Admittedly, of course it is, but it's great to see the way Tyson Fury and AJ have ascended to the top of the division, and to have contenders like Dillian and the likes of Dubois and Joyce ready to get on the international scene. It's an exciting time. This is just a small country, so for Britain to produce like that, I'm impressed. I never thought I'd see Britain producing like that in the heavyweight division in professional boxing. I never thought I'd see it. Still seems a little surreal.